Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Marshall MG15HCFX for effects. So I went into Long McQuaid today, not expecting to bring this thing home. I was actually going in there to buy another 15 watt Marshall amp, gold face, little combo, single 8-inch speaker, 230 bucks, right? No big deal. Okay, I wanted a practice amp to go along with my Boss ME80 so I don't always have to fire up my computer, go into Logic, and then, you know, do stuff, right? Like I have to do anyways with my Katana Air for recording. This is for jamming out with and having fun, and of course using the pedal board with it. Although there are already quite a few effects built into this. You know, Marshall has their presets, and you also have different effects in here as well. We've got a chorus, we've got phaser, flanger, and octave for the effects dial. Plus we've got a couple of channels in here which has clean, crunch, overdrive 1 and overdrive 2. And as you know, Marshall amps are very notorious for a lot of treble output. Which is the only thing that honestly, guys, really annoys me about Marshall. They just have way too much treble. But you can dial that back between your guitar and the amp if you need to, or put an EQ pedal on and calm things down more to your own taste, which is fine. But I'll say this one thing. A lot of people say that Les Pauls have muddy pickups. Well, could fool me. A lot of that has to do with the amp, right? And Marshall amp definitely takes away a lot of that muddy sound that some people complain about, because pretty tinny. So this is clean, and they've got a bit of chorus on this from the sounds of it. Now I do have the reverb on just a touch, and you don't really want a lot of reverb unless it's something that you need for your particular song. But otherwise, general playing, a touch of reverb is all that's needed. Now, regardless where I have the controls sitting at, these are going to be Marshall's presets when you fire it up. At least that's what I take from what I've read from the manual too. So this is more of a limited edition model too, because it's got the carbon fiber, it's got the 2 cabs with 10-inch speakers, and 15 watts of mayhem, which is pretty blistering loud for 15 watts. But I mean, that has a lot to do with your cabinets themselves, and of course those 10-inch speakers really makes a difference. And you can separate them out from each other, leave it as a stack. It's kind of up to you how you want to arrange things, right? Anyway, so we're going to play a little bit of clean stuff, a little bit of this and that from the presets. Then we're going to override the preset board and go in and do our own thing. So we'll start with the bridge pickup as always. Almost sounds like a bit of phaser or flanger. I can't quite make it quite out. I like it though. So both pickups. And the neck. Got a really fantastic sound. I mean, I've been wanting one of these amps for years and years, ever since the first time I laid eyes on one, which was actually the gold face originally. And the gold face one actually came originally with 8-inch speakers, and if I remember correctly, the revision after was the 10s, and then they went into this sort of style with, I believe, the all black and then the carbon. And this is the carbon, and I saw one for sale on Marketplace, and the guy wanted like 500, and he wouldn't budge either. And I'm like, well, you're not getting rid of it. But he's trying to tell me, oh, they're going for over 900 bucks online. And it's like, well, Reverb's got this exact same one in pristine condition too for $369. I got this at Long McQuaid in North Bay for 300 bucks. So I'm walking around the store after, you know, my buddy tells me, oh, that one's been sold. I'm like, ah, you know, because I just want something for in here, you know, kind of thing. And I wanted something small. Well, this is still small, somewhat. And I can make it smaller by just putting things down. Anyway, so I come around the corner, I saw this thing, and I'm like, honey, you gotta see this. That's the amp I want. I mean, it might not be the gold face, but I don't care. I love the carbon fiber look too, so I'm not gonna be fussy. You know, plus it's got the 10-inch speakers on top of that, so you know what I mean? And so anyways, I'm like, this is coming home, I don't care. So I talked to the one manager there, and I said, I want this. Okay, no problem. And so how would I go with this thing? Fantastic. I didn't even try it out. I've never heard this amp in real life. I've heard it on YouTube, but you know, YouTube, right? Because you're hearing it. But in real life, man, this thing is fantastic. So anyways, let's go to the crunch. See what their preset is. Neck. Not too shabby. Okay, overdrive number 1. So this is 2-channel amp. This is all Marshall's presets. Middle. Overdrive number 2 now. Start with the bridge. Okay, so now we're going to bypass all their stuff, push and hold the tap in for a few seconds. First I'm going to go back to the clean channel here. Little flash and we're back. Now, this is the way you want it. Just a touch of reverb. And you know, the EQ is very responsive too. Definitely have a lot of tone shaping you can do with this EQ, and I'm surprised. You know, I mean, Marshalls are notorious for treble, but they do have a lot of good bass response too, which is nice. So anyways, before we go too far into this my way thing, what I want to do is go through a little bit of the effects so you can just hear what they sound like, especially over clean. So we'll start with a bit of the chorus, about halfway up. And we can add more. So let's go over to the phaser. About half. Lots of phaser. So then we have our flanger in here. And a lot of flanger. Almost sounds like a ring mod, almost. Now the other one they have here is called octave. I'll just put that on a little bit. Put about half of that. So we've got a gist of the effects, and they are actually kind of handy to have, and they're actually sounding pretty good quality. So if, you know, I mean, you're limited on pedals and it's like, oh man, I so wish I had a phaser or a flanger. Well, you do. You know, you just got a little adjustment. Now it has presets, of course, of its own, but at least, you know, can add a little bit more, a little bit less, kind of thing. You don't have to screw around with like 5 different knobs, right? So that's kind of nice, and you can still get the effect you're after for the most part, or maybe you're getting it completely, depending on you. Anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the gain here. Let's put everything at 12 o'clock. I like the 12 o'clock for master, volume, and gain, all at 12. That's bridge, so middle. So that was both, now the neck. Really nice. Okay, crunch number 1. pull it back, you know. Okay, so let's go to overdrive 1. Now this is just how I have it. Overdrive 2. Now I know what you guys really want to hear. Let's do this. Everything is at max, like a Marshall should be, as some would say. Okay, that's respectful. If you want to go deaf, buy a Marshall. No, you can after a while, trust me. I really like the amp. Now, I don't know what it's going to react like with the ME80. I've never done it. I'm sure it'll take a pedal board fine, but we are going to test that out, of course. Not today. I'm going to play with it some more, get a little bit more acquainted with the thing. I got to read through the manual some more because I want to know how to set up my own stuff. It also has apparently a built-in tuner that you can access, which I have to read about yet. Now, I wouldn't rely or count on a built-in tuner on any amplifier. They tend to never be the world's best, so I trust my trusty old Snark tuner. But that's me. You also have a headphone jack here, as well as you can input like your iPod or your iPhone or some other media device for inputting sound and jam along with your own tunes. You can do that sort of thing as well. It's fantastic. I love the effects that are built into it. They're seeming to be very decent quality effects, so I have no qualms with that at all. But as a first impression, not a review, kids, not a review, but as a first impression, I really like it. And I think for $300 that I paid for it at Long McQuaid, that was a fabulous deal. You know, it's like, wow, and it's Marshall yet. And the condition this thing in is just, it's just way clean. Like whoever owned this, they either just didn't use it or they just take care of their stuff really well like I do. And of course that gives you the highest amount of value when you go to sell something, right? The better the shape it's in. And but yeah, for 300 bucks, man, I am not complaining, and that can get really loud. Now with the presets though, if you don't like the volume levels or whatever they set it at, you can override that by just twisting the knob. The same way we can do it on our Katana amps and many other types of amps like that. You can do that. But if you want the full blown of the amp, you need to bypass the factory preset area. Do your own thing. And you're going to want to have it that way if you're going to put a pedal board in front, because we know that the factory preset for the clean has a chorus or something in it. Definitely a chorus. I'm not sure if they've mixed another sound or whatever, but it's factory programmed, so who knows. But it sounds nice, but you don't want to put a pedal board in front of that particular sound and, you know, have distortion going through or something else that you really shouldn't have mixed with that, right? Well, of course that is the sound you're going for, then it's okay. Go for it. But to get full access to full volume levels and everything else the way you want it to be tailored, you do have to put it into bypass mode for user control, right? And I'm definitely going to be leaving it in user control. I have nothing against what Marshall did, but I have my own preferences like any of you would. So I think it's so far looking to be really good. I'm going to spend some more time with it. Really try and work on that treble and see, you know, because I don't generally mess with the controls on my guitar. To be honest, I always leave everything full out. It's a rare thing for me to ever even turn a volume knob on my guitars. But I'm definitely going to have to work on that treble area because I don't want it to be, you know, too dull, especially if I switch to another effect. I don't want it to be too dull. But then again, I do have the ME80 that I can EQ from there on a separate EQ altogether and just leave this at everything at 12, because there are settings on this that I like to have everything at 12 and not have to monkey with stuff where I could program that into the board. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely got more stuff coming our way in the next while. This is the last little trinket though for a couple of weeks until I can order in the stuff that I want to bring in. Yeah, and that's, I got to find a different spot for the amp though, because it's crowding me a little. So I'm going to have to rearrange the studio a little bit. I think I'm going to have to get my wife in here to help me figure out how I'm going to pull that off and still get everything set up the way I need it, because she's pretty creative sometimes when it comes to, you know, organizing, and I want to have, you know, no obstructions to my closet either. So anyways, in the meantime, thanks again. Hey, if you're not subbed, please do so, and smash that bell for notifications for any uploads I get. If you liked the video, hey, give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't, I already know what you're going to do. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Bye!